Hey everybody, we are back with Wondrous Wizardry, and this is a deck that overperformed in our last video, and we're going to run it back and see if this still holds up. This is a deck where a lot of people really like the color combination. Izzet is really popular in Magic. These Enigma Drakes and Balmor, these are cards that people really like to play. The win rate of this deck has been questionable in the past, right? And so if we can make sure that we can play it to a acceptable level, I think this would be a great choice for new players. The life gain deck are better choices, but we're going to go ahead and see if we can make this work. The trick here is this is not an aggro deck as much as something like Lava Runner would make you assume that it is. It's not. It is holding the ground until you can get out the large creatures later on, and as such it is meant to be played early on, trading off and then waiting until you have the more powerful cards later in the game to be able to take over. So we will get a Lava Runner out here. We will play a tapped land and just go ahead and pass back. If opponent uses a removal spell on Lava Runner, we're not going to even think about saving it with Dive Down. This will be for our more expensive creatures later on. Okay, that is going to be harder to get through, even if we do opt. Fiery Annihilation is not the type of card that we really want to use here, because this target doesn't really matter too much. Problem is we're just not going to be able to do anything else until we get rid of it. We could opt once or twice and see if we can get a better option, but other than that, I don't know what we're going to do here. Opt, we're going to have to keep lands where it's applicable so that we could get up to Niv-Mizzet. I guess we do remove it now. This is a horrible use of a 3-drop removal spell, and so this is what you have when you play this deck, right? Like, what are you going to do up against a wall like that? Next turn we'll use Opt, and that'll turn this into a 2/2 at least, and be dealing 2 damage. If he doesn't have a 3rd land drop, he could be in trouble, but he does. Okay, he is just opting a few times, and I don't think there will be a... Okay. Yeah, we certainly were not going to do anything there. Here we could opt to try and hit a land to get to Enigma Drake. Problem is if we don't, then we're not doing anything. Enigma Drake won't have any protection, but yeah, I guess we play it and opt next turn. If he has a larger removal spell, he will point it there. No? Okay, that is good to see. We will start with an opt. We will keep Dive Down ready. Balmor, okay. I like Balmor here. Although I do like playing it and having Hexproof up. We'll attack for 2. If he taps out, we can opt at the end of turn to see if we can hit a land drop, because Niv-Mizzet is eventually going to be a big play. He's going to have quite a bit of mana here. This blocker is not going to matter. Okay, Death Touch, so that is going to be something that we're only going to have to go through unless we find a removal spell. We're going to decide not to opt on his turn. We'll opt here. And we'll take the Burst Lightning. Leave a Lightning. The Death Touch. We can opt one more time. Yeah, I think I want to try and find a land. Yep. The truth is we're going to play Niv Mizzet on 6 mana. We're not going to wait till 7 to hold up for dive down. So if we use dive down on one of these creatures to prevent a removal spell, that would be fine also. Yep, that's not going to get you out of this. In fact, you're just dead on board, right? So, yep, that is the first win. And we'll get right back into a second game. 0-4 blocker really discouraged me in that game early on, but the flyers that we had came through. This deck would be really much better if you had more consistency in those flyers. Enigma Drake, this should have easily been a 3 or 4 of in this deck to really ramp up the power. It's a great 0-4. It's an early blocker. It doesn't have any kind of ward or anything like that, so it's not overpowered. It's just good enough. We'll opt at the end of their turn after we see what they're playing. Sometimes you gain a little bit of information, but it's not always super relevant. We can ditch a land here. Okay. I like Burst Lightning. It does mean that we have to hold it up here, which is fine. We can opt. We can Burst Lightning and opt at the on their turn. We're trying not to use Burst Lightning for something that's not too impactful. I'll take one land. Okay, so now we have to decide, is it going to be Balmor with Dive Down held up, or Balmor with Burst Lightning held up? And we're not going to have to decide. So the answer was, it was going to be Balmor with Burst Lightning held up. He didn't play a 2-drop. If he plays a 3-drop, they may have toughness more than 2, so Burst Lightning was going to get worse and worse. But that was a deck where you wanted to have multiple creatures out, a go wide strategy, and so I think the Burst Lightning would have been really helpful there. But that said, we'll jump right into the third game. Okay. Let's see what we have. Yeah. This is the deck, for better or worse, right? Amazing card. Really good card, really good card. A good card in the right strategy. None of them seem to make sense together, right? Like, how are we drawing more cards other than a 6-drop that hopefully we'll be finishing the game? But how are we drawing more cards? It's not with this aggro creature, right? So this is the deck that you sign up for when you play this. Tolarian Terror is not going to be at much of a discount given this opening hand, although we could scry away something. So we'll see what we have here. Mischievous Mystic is good enough that it can take over games. Do I really want to run it out with nothing? I don't think so. I want to run it out when I at least have an opt in my hand, so I can play it right away and get some value. Although now, like, what am I going to do? Not run it out? Okay, so here we go. Let's see what we got. Can attack with our aggro creature. Okay. Yep. If I was him, I would get rid of Mystic immediately. Yep. It's not helpful for the terrors at all. Okay. I mean, best thing you could say is you double block, right? And if they have any removal spell in red, we get crushed. Sure. Yep, and that's not going to even work now anyway. So Solarian Terror is really far away, and this is far away. So that is an easy concede. So 2-1 there. But that just shows you the deck. I don't know. It shows you the futility of the different strategies in the same deck. You really want to have all of your strategies pointed to one spot. It is a fun deck. The color combination is just something that most Magic fans really love playing. It just doesn't really work here, but let's give it another chance here in Game 4. Okay. We could run Balmor out with no protection against black and white. But why? We can opt at the end of the turn. We can run it next turn with dive down. And yep, he's going to be the life gain, and his life gain is a little slow getting online. So we're going to have a little bit of time here. Unfortunately, we're just not close enough. Okay, and we'll run Balmor out here. The idea is protect it this turn, attack with it next turn, and chart a course with Lava Runner, and we have something there. Yep. Primate is going to throw. Yep. Free attack. Gets the ping. We're not going to give him damage though. Okay. We're going to attack first. See what Charter Course can bring us. Looks like we'll be slowed down and blocking a bit in this game. So wanted to get that out there now. Lava Runner. We'll take the tap land right now. I think he's going to be all about pumping this up and getting it as big as possible. I don't think we're going to need to worry about a removal spell here. The -2/-2 won't get there on its own. Okay, he's going to be playing out the creature. Okay, he's going to get the ping again. Okay. Let's see what we can start to do here. We are 1 mana away from Izzet. We can play the 3/6. Yep, I think that's what we do. But we still have a little bit of life. We'll attack with the flyer just to chip him down so we can try and stay away from this double strike. Yeah, that's a tough one. Yep, this counter means that we're going to lose against that anyway, so we'll block the one that can chip in. Okay, we have Izzet available. Do we just start with attacking and charting? Okay, this is going to be a lot of cards. Okay. Yeah, we're in a tough situation. So we already drew the second card this turn. We can play Play this and pass. Well, here it is dive down. Yeah. Okay, I love that. I love not attacking there. Now, what do? We want to get this 1/1 going, so we have to draw another card. So we don't use the mana on this turn. We get Mystic. Mystic. Wow. And Burst Lightning. Do we want Burst Lightning? Yeah, I guess we take it, right? Okay. Then we gain a life with the 1 land. Nothing has trample. Okay, we have to be... He is going to gain lifelink. We can attack with 2 flyers. Okay. We have enough blockers to block Cat Collector. Okay. If he has a land here, he can trigger the life gain from the food. Okay, never mind. He triggered the life gain right from the land, which is fine. It's going to mean there's a bunch of trump blocks. Okay. Well, we block here. And block like this. He's got +2/+2. No, doesn't look like it. Yep. He's getting counters, but overall, I don't think that's a great. I don't think that's a great turn for him. Okay. So this is... I was just counting to see if that was enough in the air. I don't think it was enough that turn, but it would have been enough in the following turn. So that is 3-1 with the deck. 3-1 going into game 5. Let's get this going. So far, I have been impressed with the deck. When it doesn't work at all. So you have to know this going in, and if you're okay with that, fine, right? This is a deck that is going to need to go to the later game. It's got early tap lands, right? We do have one good removal spell on turn 3. So it looks like it's going to be tap land 1, 2 is going to be opt with another tap land, and then 3 removal spell, hopefully to hold us over until we get to 5. If this deck gets run over, it's not a surprise, and I hope I don't act like it is a surprise to me. Looking to see what this is. Okay, this could be either Flyers or the life gain deck. I believe this Healer's Hawk is in both. So we will just pass and find out. If this is a Johnny's Pridemate, it is unfortunate, but we would spend the 3 mana to get rid of it. I guess we'll tell when they play the second color. Yep, life gain. Okay, 21. So we don't mind, but the double strike on the Paladin comes online at 25. And then their legendary creature is 10 or more, so that's 30. We can run out the Drake. We're not going to use the removal spell here anyway. and see what he's going to do. The most common removal spells are the -2/-2 and the +2/+2. If he does attack, I think we're blocking, right? Because he just... If it's one pump spell, he doesn't win combat. He just gains the life. Okay. He decides not to attack at all. Okay. This removal is instant. Opt is an instant. We are looking for a land for Archmage next turn. So we will end up not doing anything here. We could attack and see if he wants to fake block, but I'd rather just block and then have the instant speed cards available. He's going to go Dazzling Angel. Okay. We're going to opt. Drakecatcher is interesting, but not what I'm looking for. I'll go with another opt, looking for a land, especially drawing a 7-drop. Okay. We could play the Archmage of Ruins. We could attack and just see what he does. We can hold Fiery Annihilation up. Let's see. You know what? They're both good options. I did say that I was going to be playing this on larger mana later on in the game, so let's go ahead and just go with that plan. He's got to have cards in his hand. Yeah, Fiendish Panda. Okay, I was going to guess the Paladin, but yeah, Fiendish Panda is the same. Okay. Fiery Annihilation only costs 2. We would draw another card, and we would have 3 toughness here. Yeah, I'm sorry, 3 power there. Yeah, I think we do that right now. No equipment to worry about. Drew a card, but it was just the land. We could attack with both, right? We're not worried about the counter attack. We're not worried about double blocking. We got his life down lower. So Paladin or the legendary, I think it's Alendra. Not 100% sure. But he will be well away from 30 life for that. Lifelink is, I'm sorry, Death Touch is going to be an issue. But it's just a 6/6, right? We don't have the non-creature to follow it up. We attack with everybody, see which one he blocks. I assume he's going to block one of them. This should be classic to him. He should know something bigger is coming. I guess he's priced into it. This is an attack of 6. It is 19. Okay. Because he was able to survive, that is certainly appropriate. We have a 6/6 flyer. This does have Ward 3, and you also have to pay 3 life. I assume this is another big creature. Okay, it's a Pride Moon. He could attack him with the Nighthawk to get another trigger. No non-creature spells in my hand makes this pretty unfortunate. 3/4, can't double block without losing his Nighthawk, so I think that's what we're going to do. Okay. Certainly makes sense, but we will put in another high power flyer and look to draw an impactful Land, non-creature. We're gonna have to sacrifice something. You know, it is the Drake. It's gonna be hard to block this Nighthawk. If he was attacking more regularly, this would be a lot harder of a game. But because he's not doing much, he's gonna be able to deploy all the cards in his hand eventually. I assume it's going to be a couple of tricks because he didn't play it before the Scoured Baron. So I doubt he's going to have something like Cat Collector or anything like that. Okay. All of this is good, but we just need card draw. If we get some card draw and get some non-creatures, we're going to be fine. And my favorite card in the deck. Lava Runner. Okay, well, this is what we have. My assumption is he has at least one pump spell. Everything that we would be doing is just a trump block here. If he has a removal spell, yeah, we forgot about the ward. Okay, it does happen. We know if we double block, we know he would kill this, right? He showed his intention to kill it, so we will just have to take it now and get a Charter Course. Okay, so this is where we can start getting something. We can draw 2 cards and discard the land because the land is not all that impactful to us anyway. Okay. We play the Terror. We have the Dive Down. What we don't have is a way to attack him. But we can hopefully draw one. Yeah, he's gonna make a big attack here. Yep. He might try and save up for next turn to do a bigger attack. But I don't know for sure. I guess it all depends on what he's drawing. Another chart the course will be really helpful for us. We can block, and block. We can use Charter Course to make another 1/1 token. It is our last card. He does know that now. And Lava Runner for the win. Okay, we're going to not play anything here. He may think that we have a trick. If he does attack with everything, he does win here, right? Okay. He could hold off thinking Phyrexian Arena will eventually get him a win. It won't. I mean, it will, but he should attack with everything because he has the win right now. But we'll see if we can draw into something. Balmor. We're out of tokens, so we would be blocking with Lava Runner. If he attacks with everything, I mean, now he's got a note to attack with everything, right? If you're not going to turn the card sideways, why are you playing the deck? Yep. Okay. Little block there. Little trump block here. Our opponent's just giving us too many turns to draw into something. Now, it doesn't look like we're going to get there. It looks like we are going to lose. But why should we have all of these turns to just keep trying to draw? It would have had to start with a chain of ops into a charter course into something big. But yeah, we do eventually just lose here. So we'll go ahead and save some time and jump into the next one. Yeah, it was a good game. I think if you're not being aggressive with Vampire Nighthawk, then you probably don't want to be playing a deck playing Vampire Nighthawk. Although, the truth is, you could say the same thing about Lava Runner. And it's apparent that I don't like the card in the deck here. I think we could have had a much more impactful one-drop. Okay, I like the start of this hand. We do need the non-creatures to make it work, but we can start with Emulator unless we were to get an early opt or something for Mystic. He is playing the Cat's deck, which is usually on the board, so we're not expecting too many tricks from the hand. Okay. So we will just play the Emulator. Again, opt would be perfect. Next turn to draw. Yeah. We will be blocking. Yeah, it's just a shame. We'll play Mystic. I mean, depending on what he does, we might have to block here. The Drake is going to be an 0/4, and we know we're not drawing a card draw spell, so this Mystic is not going to be doing too much work. Yeah. If he's got a trick, he will blow us out. Yep. Okay, it does prevent him from playing a creature here, though, so that is okay for the deck. Yep, bunch of creatures, bunch of counters, all good for him. We can run out the Mystic, but there's nothing going on here. Terrors aren't coming out next turn. We could get like a chart the course. Yeah, we can block. Yep. He would have gotten us with no blocks there either, so that wasn't going to help us too much. 3 and 3, the fortunes of the deck have turned around quite a bit in the last 2 games. Let's see what we have with this 7th game here. I certainly think the deck is viable, right? I'm not saying don't play the deck at all. The deck works much better in a larger constructed environment where you'd be playing dual lands that have a chance to come in untapped, and so you'd have Burst Lightning or Opt on turn 1. Ideally a creature, so your Charter Course would have a target. We'll start with Opt because whatever they play on turn 1 you could just kill on turn 2. There are no Johnny Primades on 1 or something like that you have to kill on 1. That won't be here by the time it comes up. Here it is a... I think it's a Charter Course, right? Draw 2 and discard 1. Let's see, we're going to keep both lands. We'll have a removal spell. We can discard this one. Okay. It's a 2/2 when it attacks. If you have a creature 4, it gets menace. Okay. We will play a Lava Runner. We can attack. Since he does not trade and Burst Lightning doesn't look like it's going to be really needed next turn, we'll play Charter Course and draw 2 cards. Yep, it'll attack for 3. But now Burst Lightning takes care of this or this, right? So happy to have that. We'll play another Lava Runner. We will attack. Oh, do we attack both of them? That's a good question. No, we just attack one. I think we're good with the late game. We just need to make sure we get there. Okay, when he goes to attack, yep, it depends if this is for greater. Okay, so right now we will destroy this. That will probably stop his attack. If he attacks with this, we'll just block. Yeah, it's fine. The idea is we play Archmage of Runes, Arcane Epiphany the next turn, and then the Goliath after that. Okay. Have a removal spell, but we will attack with the 2/2. I think we should have attacked with the 2/2 before we played Archmage of Runes, so not the best sequencing, but next turn we can do both, remove something and draw some cards, which will draw some more cards, and you know, that is peak magic. He's not going to be able to attack here. These are both instants, so we don't necessarily have to do them on our turn. If we draw a land, we could just land go. Although, we may not want him to see the next card on his deck, because he'll play it. Yeah, if we're definitely destroying this, we can do this now. And attack him with 2. If he does something to get rid of this, it's not going to be a fight spell, right? So if he does something to get rid of this and attacks in for 3 points of damage, we're not overly worried. We are going to have 4 cards coming to us here. He needs another creature to make this 4 power. Yeah. So this is where this deck becomes unstoppable, when you're drawing this many cards, right? My opponent doesn't even want to try there. I hope newer players, returning players, I hope anybody that are playing in the starter deck queues, you know, watches these 7 games, and I think you see the wide variety of what this deck can do. Now, we did go 4-3, right? And so the deck did have a winning set here, and I think we should consider that, right? And make sure that we know that this is not a bad deck or a deck that you cannot play. The consistency is not quite there. And so do I think that this should be your first deck you pick up if you are new to Magic Arena? I do not. I think you're much better off playing blue-white. You're much better off playing black-white. You're much better playing off red-green. something that's a little bit more straightforward. But once you play those decks for a little while, should you take this one for a spin and see how you enjoy it? Yeah, absolutely. I think it falls into that tier. It's not the first deck, it's not the best deck, but is it a fun deck to play? Is it a deck where if you have your daily goal be red and blue spells, 20 red or blue spells for your daily goal, and you have 15 minutes at the end of the night and you just want to play a couple of games and get your gold? Yeah, it's definitely viable and you can definitely play it. Just think of me every time you pull these lava runners in inopportune situations. That being said, if you want to see any other content like this, if you like starter deck content, we also have jump-in content, some draft content, and then also standard deck content. If you like any of those videos, please give us a subscribe. It would really help the channel. And if you want to support the channel further, in the description there is an Amazon web store. If you're buying any Magic or Magic accessories or anything that's outside of Magic, by going to Amazon through our link, it is of no cost to you, but it does help support the channel just a little bit, a few percentages. So thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.